Have been echoed in suburban Adelaide. 2 Serbian churches were vandalized overnight. A bronze statue of a Serbian wartime hero was decapitated and the head stolen. Pro-Serbian graffiti was, pro-Croatian graffiti was scrawled on several walls. Police in Adelaide say they do not believe there's any connection between the attack and the influx of several thousand supporters of the Melbourne Knights Soccer Club, a team with close connections to the Croatian community. The soccer fans poured in from Melbourne for today's grand final against Adelaide City.
Were out early in an enthusiastic show of support for their local heroes.
Finals fever had come to town, black and white being the only colours to bear. Even the state's tallest building was banking on a zebra victory. Celebrations kicked off early, the government throwing a breakfast in honour of Adelaide City and coach Zoran Matic. The real party, however, was already in full swing out in the streets. Fans turned out early at Hindmarsh, hunting for the hard-to-come-by tickets and vying for the premier positions. But tough security measures left some disappointed.
Not even the flag.
Too big.
Inside the ground, hype was building for the big clash, fans using the curtain raiser to warm up their vocal cords. When it came to support, for some fans there was no limit. While others decided to back their luck, the Zebras favoured with punters.
2-0 is $180 to 30.
$180 to 30.
Michelle Stamper, National 9 News.
And with all the action from the game and a whole lot more, here's KG.
Thanks, Georgie. And it was a sad day for the Adelaide City Zebras, going down to the Melbourne Knights in the NSL Grand Final. 2 goals in the first half to the Knights proved too much for City, who just couldn't find the net.
An expectant home crowd, Zoran Matic's Chargers slight favourites. The injury cloud over Goran Lozanowski lifted temporarily. Damien Mori also threatened. Then came their best chance from a Lozanowski free kick. Both sides were playing tough, Ivanovic and Spiteri earning yellow cards. Finally, Andrew Mars silenced the crowd with a stunning drive in the 36th minute.
Fantastic goal!
Minutes later, the Knights scored again.
Second goal for the Knights.
In the second half, it was nearly 3-0, Petkovic denying Spiteri from point-blank range. City's chances of an historic 4th title were fading. Their last chance to get back in the match fell to John Gibson.
Gibson straight at Juric.
As City pushed forward, it opened holes at the back, creating chances for the Knights. But ultimately, it was Melbourne's hard-nosed defence that denied the Zebras.
And it's all over.
For the Knights, an end to a horror grand final record. For City, no back-to-back titles.
On the day, it's the best team wins, you know. I think it's Melbourne Croatia. I think everyone watched the game. You know, they probably deserved to win. They had more chances. You know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Sadness also for Matic.
I finished playing for Adelaide City with loss. I finished coaching with a loss. But life has to go.
But a dream for Mark Viduka playing his last game.
It's the best possible way. We've taken out all the trophies that we can this season.
Matthew Smith, National 9 News.
Losing to the Melbourne Knights. 16,000 fans squeezed into the Hindmarsh Stadium, only to see the Knights score 2 first-half goals and win the National Soccer League Championship.
At home and expected to win. It's not something Adelaide City is used to, but the Zebras seem to be handling it pretty well. Goran Lozanowski shrugged off his injury cloud and caused the Knights some problems. In fact, the visitors looked to be in trouble and frustration seemed to be getting the better of them. But half an hour in, the match changed. Melbourne seized control of the midfield and poured on the pressure.
Dropped. Back to Petkovic.
Finally, the goal came.
Again. Good shot from Andrew Mars. Fantastic goal. Out of nothing, really.
The Knights rewarded for their flair. Mark Viduka hadn't touched the ball, but he didn't waste his first.
Oh, nice ball to Marusic in space here. Good ball across. Second goal for the Knights.
Spiteri's goal made it 2-0, but it could have been 3. In the second half, Adelaide pushed forward trying to get back into the match. Brad Hassel went close, but it wasn't to be. The Knights finally winning a championship. For City's coach Zoran Matic, a sad way to go out.
I finished playing on a losing note with Adelaide City and finished coaching on a losing note. I mean, we got to get up tomorrow. There's another day and a new challenge. If we learn something out of the loss, so that will be beneficial. We can now go and we got what we deserve.
Best feeling of my life, really. To lose 3 grand finals, but I think to be stiff in a couple of them, really come out here against all odds, and the boys proved that we're the best team in Australia once again, and we did it for the boys and our supporters.
Paul Childs, 7 Nightly News.
World where the lessons still haven't been learnt. One is the former Yugoslavia, where UN observers have reported Croatian army units firing on fleeing Serb civilians. The UN says thousands of Serb refugees came under fire as they fled from their town, seized by the Croatian army.
Displacement of war has returned to northern Bosnia, and with it the claims and counterclaims of those affected. Having fled south from advancing Croat forces, around 7,000 Serbian refugees have now gathered in the area, many carrying with them allegations of Croat atrocities. None of this yet verifiable by the UN, which itself had attempted to send an aid convoy to the Serbian refugees, only for it to be stopped by Croat forces. North of the border at Pakrac in Croatia, the town taken by Croat troops 2 days ago, another picture emerges. The first of the Serbian men detained by the Croats are being allowed to return to their families. "I wasn't mistreated," he said. "Everything was fine," said this man. The Croatian Red Cross has been handing out food and clothing. It's not much, but it's what these people need. The problem for the Red Cross now is to establish exactly how many Serbs stayed on in the town throughout the fighting and how many fled into the surrounding countryside. UN sources have estimated that up to 6,000 Serbs could be taking refuge in these Croatian hills.
The Melbourne Knights have a disappointing record in grand final appearances, but today against Adelaide City, they hope to change all that. Despite being unsettled early, the Knights were busy in attack. Joe Spiteri elected to dispute referee decisions, and after repeated infringements, out came the yellow card. Very little separated the sides until the 36-minute mark, and the floodgates opened for the Knights.
Again, good shot from Andrew Mark. Fantastic goal.
A spectacular goal from skipper Andrew Mark. Then 5 minutes later, Spiteri still fired up, scored their second.
Good ball across. Second goal for the Knights.
Adelaide City shell-shocked, trailing 2-0 at half-time. Quality football from the Knights in the second half to effectively shut down the Zebras' attack. Adelaide City continued to lose momentum and players, including star striker Damien Morey. Mark Viduka was kept quiet most of the day, but it was a fairy tale finish for the 19-year-old in his last match with the Knights. Fittingly, the 1995 national champions.
Mirko Basic's dream of a championship medal in Australia has come to fruition.
It's the best possible way. We've taken out all the trophies that we can this season, and as I said, it's the best way to go out.
Well, there it is, the victorious Melbourne Knights, champions of 1994-95.
A sour note, however, to the grand final. 9 people have been arrested in Adelaide this evening. Fans were body searched before the game, but some produced flares outside the stadium. They were thrown through shop windows and rocks were hurled at police. 2 people have been arrested for assaulting police who have been monitoring celebrations.
Serb leaders are blaming the Croatian community for causing damage to church statues, graffiti on walls and smashed windows. However, police have still not established who is responsible.
Week by war and peace. While most of Europe commemorated the end of World War II on this continent 50 years ago, war escalated again in former Yugoslavia. As you heard in the news, a ceasefire agreed upon on Wednesday by Croatia and rebel Serbs was short-lived, if observed at all, and on Sunday shells slammed into a crowd in a Sarajevo suburb, killing at least 8 people in the worst single attack on the Bosnian capital this year. Sarajevo was targeted by Serb forces for most of the week.
UN troops in Sarajevo are again on alert following a mortar attack. The mortars were fired by Serb forces surrounding the city. Once again, UN peacekeepers were the intended target. The shells landed here, a barracks housing a Ukrainian detachment close to the center of town. 11 UN vehicles were badly damaged. A bloodbath was narrowly avoided.
We are very happy because this moment all our personnel intend to go to canteen as usual procedure, and their parking area was empty.
Serb leader Radovan Karadzic had threatened such an attack. It appears part of a plan to support fellow Serbs in Krajina and West Slavonia. There, following the recent Croatian advance, large numbers of Serbs have been forced into camps. Plainly frightened, these 500 Serbs have been held in the Bjelovar gym since Friday. Croats record their identities before passing some of them on to local police for investigation. We talked to some of the prisoners to find out if they knew why they were being held.
I don't know very much about that because it seems that they are asking people, they are picking up people, they know about them something from before, and probably they will search for war criminals.
This is also what the Croatian government in Zagreb has said. But diplomatic concern is growing. The UN Security Council has accused the Croatian army of plundering the town of Pakrac and ignoring human rights. Mario Nobilo, Croatian ambassador to the UN, reacted strongly, demanding an apology. Pakrac, liberated on Friday.